Good morning, dear friends. Whoops. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Scattered as we are in our own homes, we woke up a little while ago, or maybe not. Maybe some of us were up all night. You know how it is when you're meditating before bed and things get rolling. You just say, I'm going to stay up all night. What the heck? I have a couple of poems this morning for our edification. And I was hoping Denise would be here. It was in response to her question yesterday, but she has children to drive to school some mornings. But it'll be in the recording and it'll serve all of us anyway. It's this question of fear, this experience of fear, which is fundamental to human existence. Why would we not be afraid? We are born out of nowhere. We have incredibly vulnerable bodies. We drive around at ridiculous speeds in tin boxes. And we have aspects of our being that break really easily. A mere 2-millimeter artery can break in the brain and we'd be gone. So no wonder we have some fear. And no wonder it's been addressed down through time. This is Rumi, 12th century. Think of that. Imagine that we have teachings from the 12th century. Of course, we have teachings from the Buddha 2,600 years ago. Keep walking, though there is no place to get to. That's quite a line, isn't it? There's no place. We never arrive anywhere. Keep walking, though there's no place to get to. Don't try to see through the distances. That's not for human beings. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't go to the door to the library and start reading. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and to kiss the ground. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Keep walking, though there is no place to get to. Don't try to see through the distances. That's not for human beings. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the library and start reading. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. And perhaps even more to the point, from Charlotte Joko-Beck. Intelligent practice deals always with just one thing: the fear that is at the base of human existence, the fear that I am not. And of course I am not, but the last thing I want to know is that. I am impermanence itself in a rapidly changing human form that appears solid. I fear to see what I am, an ever-changing energy field. I don't want to be that. So good practice is about fear. Fear takes the form of constantly thinking, speculating, analyzing, fantasizing. With all that activity, we create a cloud cover to keep ourselves safe in make-believe practice. True practice is not safe. It's anything but safe. But we don't like that, so we obsess with our feverish efforts to achieve our version of the personal dream. Such obsessive practice is itself just another cloud between ourselves and reality. The only thing that matters is seeing with an impersonal searchlight, seeing things as they are. When the personal barrier drops away, why do we have to call it anything? We just live our lives. And when we die, we just die. No problem anywhere. Intelligent practice always deals with just one thing: the fear at the base of human existence, the fear that I am not. And of course, I am not. But the last thing I want to know is that I am impermanence itself in a rapidly changing human form that appears solid. I fear to see what I am, an ever-changing energy field. I don't want to be that. So good practice is about fear. Fear takes the form of constantly thinking, speculating, analyzing, fantasizing. With all that activity, we create a cloud cover to keep ourselves safe in make-believe practice. True practice is not safe. It is anything but safe. But we don't like that. So we obsess with our feverish efforts to achieve our version of the personal dream. Such obsessive practice is itself just another cloud cover between ourselves and reality. The only thing that matters is seeing with an impersonal searchlight, seeing things as they are. When the personal barrier drops away, why do we have to call it anything? We just live our lives, and when we die, we just die. No problem anywhere. So let's sit, my friends. We were gone. The experience of I, me, mine was gone for some hours. What a relief. And now here, that we each take to be I, me, and mine is once again. Notice that there's a body sitting here. And notice there's something much more subtle than the body that knows the body. We could say that the body occurs within, which is awareness. And notice the subtle or not so subtle sense of I am, that takes ownership of this. You can't find it, you can't look at it directly. But there's a sort of intuition of it. To support us on our journey, we have the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. This that knows is the Buddha. The various strategies of practice, the understandings of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. These are all the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. And they point, however, at what is also Dharma, the way things are. And we can undertake mindfulness of in-breathing and out-breathing. We can notice the thoughts that arise. And there's also refuge in the Sangha, in the community of practice. Notice how it is to remember, to know, to reflect upon. The 50-some other people with whom you practice right now, knowingly. We also practice as part of a lineage of awakening, ever since the time of the Buddha till now. Think of that. We all have great 150 times grandparents of the Dharma. And just as we, through the way we live, affect other people, so we are affected by all those who have gone before us. Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. And the body breathes all by itself. And so we embrace life. the life of this moment, which manifests as an entire body that's alive. We can notice the life that exists as toes and feet, as ankles and shins and calves, as the knees, as the thighs. They're still breathing, and they're still the body. They have the inside of the thighs and the outside of the thighs and the front and the back. We have the life of the genitals and perineum and anus. Then into the digestive system, all that life that's cradled in the pelvis. Remarkably, awareness is here, can be here, in the buttocks, where they press against the chair, cushion. The sacrum, the back. Feel that long column of support that's in the back. That is the back. From the pubic bone into the abdomen again, and then the solar plexus. Feel what happens here as you breathe, as it breathes. And the sides, from the hips all the way to the armpits. The chest. Feel how it billows outward, how it expands, driven by the diaphragm, the solar plexus. If the mind has wandered off, come back to the fingers. And notice you can be quite particular about the baby finger of the left hand, or the ring finger of the left hand, or the middle finger, or the index finger of the right hand, and the forearms and the wrists, the elbows and the upper arms, and the shoulders, and the neck, front, back, sides. The jaw. Maybe let your jaw move imperceptibly. And the tongue, and the palate, the gums, the lips. The cheeks. The upper lip. Notice how the air coming and going may create sensations here. The ears and scalp. And the eyes, the forehead, the eyebrows. Embracing this incarnation, this meat body, which is known by its life. The body is constant change. Thoughts come and go. Some thoughts are sticky and stay for a while. You may have sound in your environment. No more or less important than any thoughts. It's just sounds. And where do sounds occur? We could say, well, they're out there. Where does the body occur? Is it down there? Or is it here? In consciousness. It's known in consciousness. And so we use the sensations of breathing for orientation, for stability. To help us wake up when we get lost in the wandering mind. Don't be troubled by the wandering mind. Don't succumb to the tyranny of always needing to change something. This moment is exactly like this. The temperature is like this. We fall into the trances, the trance of future, the trance of past, the trance of fantasies, of fear, the trance of politics, the trance of relationships. Mindfulness illuminates all these phenomena as what they are. What a huge relief it is to recognize, even superficially, even episodically, these thoughts are just thoughts. This emotion is just emotion, body sensations, thoughts. It's possible, even desirable, to inhabit that place of knowing which accepts it all. Please let us fully embrace this next minute or two of breathing, noticing how each breath really does have a beginning. It does have a rising to fullness. Of course, by the end of rising to fullness, the beginning is long gone. It has ceased, utterly ceased to exist. Then there is the out-breath, not something one does, but it does itself. And then it's gone. And in this world of constant change, if we reflect for a moment upon our beloveds, our loved ones, our possessions, our livelihood, the place we live, we can very easily fall into gratitude. Health. How fortunate. How fortunate to have a friend, to have a pet, to be able to walk or to see, or the extravagance of having one's own vehicle, central heating. And to recognize that we live within the web of life, within the web of all beings. And so to turn our hearts toward the sharing of merit. May all beings everywhere be benefited by my practice this morning. May all beings everywhere. And this can seem an extravagant notion, but as we open, we can sense this interbeing. The I am becomes that which is. May all beings share in the merits of our practice.
Depressed. Well, it was just the, this is a body that we sort of are borrowing.
Sounds true to me. You know, that little unmuted moment just reminded me of a lovely poem. Where is it? I think it's called the Quetzal bird. Yes. Borrowing our bodies. It's an Aztec prayer. Oh, only for so short a while you have loaned us to each other, because we take form in your act of drawing us, and we take life in your painting us, but only for a short while you have loaned us to each other, because even a drawing cut into crystalline obsidian fades, and even the green feathers, the crowned feathers of the Quetzal bird lose their color, and even the sounds of the waterfall die out in the dry season. So we too, because only for so short a while, have you loaned us to each other. Doug Pullen will be teaching on Saturday. I don't know if it's themed or not, but just being with Doug is enough. Just practicing together from 9 till 2. This Sunday night is Candle Summers' first and third Sunday she does of mindfulness and metta. Jim Dalton is on Monday night, coming up again. And I am mentioning the Hollyhock Retreat, which it looks like might well fly. They're lifting some of the restrictions in British Columbia as we speak. So by September, it could be possible to get in there. So I think that's all I have to announce here in this mysterious living moment. So I invite anyone who would like to share. What's happening for you? What question do you have?
Hi, Robert. It's Carol.
Hello, Carol.
So here in British Columbia, or here in Canada, we've been dealing with the news of the 215 bodies of First Nations children that have recently found outside of a residential school on the mainland of BC. And I feel very emotional as I speak about this because it's really incomprehensible. And even though I know that all around the world there have similar atrocities, and this isn't news to us. It's just been kind of a catalyst or a wake-up call to recognize just how our country has been not dealing with this kind of this situation. It's in a way similar to George Floyd, that it's just a wake-up call. And so yesterday after meditation, I cried and I cried, and I decided to just sit with the sadness. And it was interesting how at first it just felt so overwhelming, and then at a certain point the energy shifted, and it was almost like instead of feeling my own personal grief, it became more of a universal grief, more of a more of a collective grief and how that changed things. It didn't make it better, but somehow it made it more bearable. And anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Stephen Levine provided some vocabulary for that. He said, as we touch into the grief of this moment and this situation, we open to the grief of our lifetime. And as we open into the grief of our lifetime, we open into the grief of all beings.
Yes.
And we're having yet another realization that my mind is blocking right now. The massacre in Tulsa 100 years ago yesterday was one of dozens. Not part of our history, not part of our known history. So it seems as though the Band-Aids are coming off and we're feeling some of the history coming through. And it's it's the history of the world, of people coming in and dominating other people and taking their land. It's quite huge. So I guess it's becoming important. It's almost important that we meditate frequently. Thank you, Carol. Tim. Hello, Tim.
The Band-Aids coming off, people realizing, re-realizing, or being forced to see more our history. It seems clear. It seems clearer that the white supremacy, the colonialism, the capitalism, etc., in one way, kind of just boils down to what we've been talking about: greed, hatred, and ignorance. If that's not the basis of capitalism, I don't know what is. Of colonialism, or white supremacy, patriarchy, etc., etc. But it's so clearly greed, hatred, and ignorance. So it seems to me.
Yep. Yeah. When I came back from India, having had my kidney stones attacked there, I had intended to stay longer, but I discovered I needed to come home, and I was feeling, anyway, that's not what I want to mention. I stopped in London, and I went to a Buddhist center run by U Sadhatissa. Several books by him, very famous old monk. And as I was waiting to talk with him, I read a newspaper clipping that they had on the wall. And across the street is the fire station, the fire trucks. And the reporter asked him, "Don't you find it disturbing that to have a fire station across the street when they come roaring out. And Sadatisa's response was, well, actually, I run a kind of fire station of my own, but here the fires we put out are greed, hatred, and ignorance. So this that we're doing is the foundational work of ending suffering in the world by ending it right here. Anybody else? Anything on your heart this morning?
Hey, Robert.
Hello, Neil.
Hey, during the sit, I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to mention I had this sort of feeling of, on my chest, it felt like there's this heaviness, like, not like someone like pushing on my chest, but like there was a weight. Yeah. I don't know if it was like maybe like wearing like a heavy necklace maybe, or like a vest or something. And I just wanted to mention it. I figured I was going to think about this later. So I would just mention it.
And you could pay attention to that. You could just abide in that and notice the thinking about that and let go of that and just be with whatever that is and see what it reveals. All kinds of layers unfold as we practice.
Thanks. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Robert?
Tim
again. I think it's real important to bear in mind when thinking about all these horrors of genocide and slavery and so on. You can get really lost in that, and that don't help anybody.
Yep.
That don't get the work done. And I think it's really important to remember that all through all those hideous, ugly stories, that as a continuous thread, as part of it, there's been kindness and courage and compassion and people stepping into danger to help other people out, and people stopping and having a laugh, and all that stuff. It's so easy to forget that stuff and just be deer in the headlights at the horror. And that's not only inaccurate and true, so therefore not the Dharma, but delusion, but it also decapacitates you and makes you helpless. And so it makes you ineffective. If you care about that stuff, that's the last thing on earth you want to do. Because that'll just make you stare into the headlights and go, oh shit, oh dear, oh shit, oh dear. That won't help anybody.
It can also be quite self-indulgent. Yeah. Greed, hatred, and ignorance. I'm of the belief, he says with a little trepidation, that without doing what we're doing here, in its many different forms across traditions. Transformation will never occur. We've had so many revolutions. Without the revolution in consciousness, we just repeat the same thing again. I was victimized, or my parents were victimized, or 25 generations ago someone was victimized, and so I'm going to get you back. It's so different from here I am right now, and what was Martin Luther King's beautiful word? What was that word he used for community? The sacred community, the beloved community. That the practice of seeing each other as the beloved, suffering with greed, hatred, and ignorance. I think that's our practice, really. Which leaves some room for joy, doesn't it?
Carol, again, I just wanted to say once again my gratitude for the Sangha. Thank you all for that
Thanks.
support. It really does make a big difference.
Yeah. If we were together in the Dharma Hall right now, I think I would probably suggest that we all stand. And I'd put on a piece of nice music, and we could all move to music. Discover the beauty of our capacity to move. So easy to get caught in the mind, get caught in a mood. Darcy, I see you have your dulcimer on the wall behind you. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do.
I bought it with the intention of taking lessons. I can't even tune it yet.
Uh-huh. I can't tell if it's a guitar or an ukulele.
It's a ukulele.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I thought if I kept it within sight, it would more likely get used. It was going to be my pandemic project.
Uh-huh. You know, my guitar teacher, Steve Einhorn, he and his wife Kate have turned on hundreds of people to the ukulele, and they've done pre-COVID, and since they've been doing it online. But pre-COVID, they went to schools, and he he's been doing music. He was the founder. He created one of the primary music stores here and instrument stores here in Portland called the. I'm forgetting, but anyway, that doesn't artichoke music, and he has a friend at a ukulele factory in China or somewhere, and lots of them come off the line, the production line, and there's a flaw. And so he buys them at low price, low cost, and fixes them, and then gives them away to lots of hundreds of them to kids, and they create events where they have 20 or 30 or 40 adults, and no one's ever played before, and they all learn how to play. And you could do a lesson or two with him online. He's a marvelous man. He does that.
I would love to. I've actually thought about seeking out an online teacher.
Oh, great. Send me an email, okay? I'll connect you two. He's a lovely fellow. Robert at first name, last name.com. Robert at robertbeatty.com.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, and I'll connect you. That'd be fun to see.
Okay. Yeah.
I have an ook that I haven't played. I the guitar is so satisfying and challenging, but it looks like a nice ukulele up there. I'm sure it's speaking to you right now. It's saying, Darcy.
I was thinking that you're bringing that up is just making me want to get it down and try what I've learned.
Take
so
it.
far.
Let's see you take it down. Come on, just show us.
I have not. I don't even know a single chord. I need Tim direct to me.
Well, there. Now it's in your hand. How can you hold yourself back?
When I'm not on Zoom, I will strum it and sing and pretend that I know what I'm doing and be joyful.
Wow. Well, maybe you don't need lessons. It's already doing what it needs to do. I would I'll connect you.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
You sure you don't want to sing us a song just because?
Oh gosh, no, I don't. You know what? I plan on going to Hollyhock, so maybe I'll know something by then.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ook is so portable too. It's great. Oh, in fact, they have a great book they wrote too. Learning book. Yeah. I'll connect you.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, dear friends, a day is ahead of us. Who knows what'll happen? We have some influence over what happens. Don't move the way fear makes you move. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. The day will present us with vipaka. This is the circumstance. This is the circumstance. How shall I respond? So shall we sing our way out. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please unmute if you wish. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Goodbye, dear friends. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, those of you that did. Goodbye, Sandra. And Eileen. And Sherry. Thanks for coming. Goodbye, Tamara.
Goodbye, Robert.
Have
Goodbye,
a nice
Sandra.
day.
Goodbye, Had. You too. Bye.
Bye, Tamara.
Bye, Had. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye, dear friend.